Starting it with the horns. What's up, crew?
Let's go.
Big sheesh, everyone.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a big day today.
Huge.
It is none other than episode 23. We've been waiting for this day since last week.
Michael Jordan.
That's true. It's Michael Jordan episode day.
Yeah.
And we have
It's a
none
big one.
other than Majestic Mud.
Ooh.
Right here with us, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, homie?
Hello.
This, as you all know, is a music production podcast where we talk about all the inner workings that we deem necessary to tell you about.
Yeah.
And that includes everything
Everything.
that we deem necessary.
to tell you about.
Correct. Thank you.
Mhm.
Wow.
Perfect.
So, Majestic Mud,
Yes.
welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
If you want to go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about what kind of music you make.
Yeah.
How long have you been making music?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious about that.
The whole thing.
The Gambit.
So I have been producing on and off for about like 5 years or so, 5-6 years. I do kind of like deep bass, space bass, drum and bass, halftime, and kind of like whatever is in the middle with those things. I just kind of, there's no real like set tempo or BPM. It's kind of just
Right.
whatever we're feeling.
That's how it's done.
Yeah.
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 Dark and dirty wubs.
Yep, deep, dark, and dirty wubs. Yeah, it's been great. I mean, like I moved out here in Colorado about like 2 years or so ago, and I've kind of like since coming out here, I've like really honed in on my sound and kind of like figured out what the project is going to be all about. And it's been a great move for me to kind of like just surround myself with like-minded people that are
Right.
trying to be in the industry, and people that
Absolutely.
are making music, and people that have like similar goals as you. Because if not,
Yeah.
then you just kind of go to Grateful Dead cover bars and
Yeah. You're just
do
a,
that for 20 years. You know?
Cover
Yeah. Yeah.
a bag in the wind.
I love the term cover bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes my soul cringe.
Oh yeah.
So is that
Wow.
when you first met like Nick and the Baruka homies?
So we met actually through Facebook earlier this year. We met
Okay.
on
Wow.
the Universal Bass Group on Facebook. So shout out to that group because that's
Fuck
sick.
yeah.
Shout out.
Shouts.
We Nick and I actually were talking a little bit, just like randomly hit each other up, and I was like, "Yo, I'm in Colorado." He's like, "I'm in Colorado." And we figured out we were close to each other. And I was doing some DJ streams at the time, so he came over and did a stream. And we just kind of hit it off, and then
Oh, sick.
he and I were just like equally kind of talking to our boy Trappa, who is young Sriracha, who is just the man of too many nicknames. We
Young
were,
Sriracha is pretty good, though.
It is no, it's. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hot. It's spicy.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
he's
It's hot.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank
And then we just kind of like the three of us just started showing a little bit, and then we just kind of realized that we're all at a similar place with our production and what our goals are, and so we kind of decided that we were like, well, I mean, we all kind of get down with each other. I mean, let's start to make some tunes and see what happens with it. And now we're doing it. We're definitely doing it.
Fuck
so
yeah.
yeah.
And you guys are doing it great.
Oh, they're
Thank you.
doing it, folks.
Thank you. Yeah, we have actually we have a big couple of days coming up. We have a free show at your mom's house in Denver this Saturday.
I heard about that.
So it's actually like the premier Baruka show.
Okay.
Nice.
So the three of us, we have Swaz, we have Trip Trop, who is also my roommate.
Oh, cool.
And then next week we have a headlining set at the Lounge in the Black Box.
Let's go.
Oh, nice.
And so it's gonna be a pretty good time. It's gonna be a pretty good time. We got a busy couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Sounds
no,
dope.
it's gonna be great. We're doing a boiler room set on Saturday. It's like the first time that I think any of like us collectively have been to a boiler room set. So we're just like, yo, no one's done it, so why don't we try to do it?
Yeah, I don't know why that
Yeah.
doesn't happen more often.
I
honestly.
don't
Seems
know
like the
either.
funnest way.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
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 So
So,
the DJ in the middle. Let's go.
dude, I mean,
We all dance together.
That's the most fun.
It sounds like the most fun to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds great.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. We have like full creative control over the night too, so they're pretty much like, yeah, whatever you guys want to do. Like, we don't have to pay for the venue. We don't really just have to set the lineup and like tell people to come.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, free drinks in a boiler room set. I mean, you can't say no to that. You know?
Yeah.
So what day is this?
Yeah, totally.
This is Saturday evening.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Let's go, folks.
I'm down. I'm down for sure.
It's a free show, so it doesn't even cost any money.
You hear that,
Oh.
Denverites?
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hear that? All the people watching right now.
There's a shitload of people watching right now.
Amazing amount of people watching it now, commenting in the chat.
Guys,
yeah.
guys, keep it down.
Chat
Yeah.
is just
A
blowing
little
up.
noisy right now.
Yeah, a little noisy. Jeez. Well, sick, dude.
Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
yeah,
Well, Nick is the homie. He's fucking
yeah.
Nick is the
salt
homie.
of the earth ass
Mhm.
motherfucker.
Dude,
He really
anybody
is.
that ever
Mm.
meets Nick, like that I've introduced him to out here, has said like literally the exact same thing within a half hour. They're just like, man, this dude is just like good, solid human being
Yeah.
down to
Yeah.
the core. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
He's the man.
Yeah,
He's the man.
shout out to Tempo Shaman. It's the boy.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout homie, I'm
Goddamn
taking a sip
right.
for you.
I'll pour some out just for you into my mouth.
Onto our nice mahogany desk.
No.
I don't want to stain the desk.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to stain that dust.
It was hard. We had to get it out of the boiler room
Yeah.
Oh
And-
God.
Right.
into
Well,
the
it was
testing
too hot.
room.
It was too
Yeah,
hot.
no, it was
boiling.
too hot.
Yeah.
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 And the moisture in there, it'll really fuck up this wood.
Also, sometimes you just need some functions behind you, you know?
Yeah.
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 Sometimes
actually,
you got to flex
so-
a little.
That's
We
how I
brought
wake
it
up.
over into the venue, and here we are. This is where we test out our beats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like the engineer could turn down the lights a little bit. It's a little bright. in here,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
it's fine.
Yeah,
Well, win some, you lose some. You know.
yeah. No one's playing.
Fucking right.
Yeah.
Just like me and percussion.
Yeah.
That game.
So what has
It's a
everyone been
game.
working on this week? Any new
Percussion.
revelations percussion for you? Yeah.
Just more
That's cool.
percussion.
That's cool. Just doing the same old, trying new styles or anything like that.
Making a bunch of wubs and things.
Mhm.
Webs and things.
I'm curious with mud. You got any? Do you have any like current like ways that you go about like mixing shit? Like a process of any kind, or
Like mix downs, you're saying with
Mhm,
the tune?
mhm.
Yeah, so I pretty much exclusively use saturation. I don't really use compressors that much. I mean, I'll use like a little bit of compression on a drum group just to give it like that like thwap,
Okay.
that like punch, that impact that you need.
You gotta have that thwap.
Dude, you need the thwap, especially on the snares.
Dude, yeah.
True.
But yeah, I pretty much just use saturators on everything because it gives it like essentially you're taking your headroom and you're reducing it, but you're keeping the power of the signal the same. Basically, you're just
Yeah.
driving it a little bit
Yeah.
harder, so you're reducing your headroom so that when you're like going into your master chain, there's much more headroom, so you can just crank stuff and it sounds like super loud and super crisp because it's all
Right.
just like running through saturators basically.
Right.
Um,
Right.
So I do that on pretty much all my drums and most of like pretty much anything that has like more than 1 dB of headroom. When it's like really kind of like it's throw a saturator on it, and it just takes care of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
like that mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw a saturator on it.
Yeah.
Basically,
Care of
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Like clip
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Clip that
clipping
shit.
it.
yeah. And that's like
Yeah.
I feel like for so long, like you get like into this mindset where there's these like rules you have to follow about like, oh, you can't drive this too hard, or like you need to compress it like just this amount, or like this can't be too loud. And like after a while, it's just like, yo, like there's no rules to this shit. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
really just like do whatever feels right, and like you start driving your saturator a little bit and notice that your headroom is there, then like, okay, yeah, maybe that's not like the traditional compression algorithm that you would use to go through things, but like it works and it sounds great. So like I'm not gonna ask any questions.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if it sounded good
Yeah.
and you fucking did all the rules wrong
yeah,
or whatever,
Yeah, dude.
then like fuck that. It
Dude,
sounds
fuck the
good.
rules. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Boost it.
Yeah.
Boost it into your saturator.
Yeah.
Fucking do whatever you want.
Just
Yeah,
crank
I
it.
mean,
Art at the end of the day.
That
Dude,
comes with
exactly.
an air of having some ears, though. Like you can't necessarily do that
Definitely
on
does.
year one.
Yeah.
Like just
True.
saturate everything, you'll be fine. Like, they're
It's
just-
gonna sound like
It's gonna
garbage.
sound like trash.
I tried.
Yeah.
I
Right.
tried.
Yeah, me
for,
too.
Yeah,
for a
same.
long time. I
Yeah.
tried.
You got to learn how that saturator works.
Yep.
Yeah.
What you really want is like a saturator. What you're gonna get out of a saturator is a hard stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're getting out of a saturator.
Mhm.
Which the hard stop includes harmonics from the stoppage.
Mhm.
You know, so you're just chopping off the top of it, and you could do that with a little bit of a softer curve or a harder curve. It doesn't really matter; just depends on what it sounds.
Mhm.
Yeah, it depends.
This if it
whatever,
sounds
whatever the
good or
subject
whatever.
matter is,
Yeah.
so it depends on how hard you can like drive it in, or like the different like clipping algorithm that you're using. on the
Right,
saturator.
Right.
Tube or tape or
Mhm.
Yeah,
hard clip.
and if you're
Pick your
using
poison.
a compressor, the thing you want out of a compressor is the like attack.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's like the attack and the release part of it is the thing that you're looking for. And I'm not all the time trying to add peaks to shit.
Right.
You know, so compressors are not like. I would rather saturate things a lot of the time,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
clip them a lot of the time.
Well, and
I
feel
agree
like,
with you on that.
Like I feel like saturation typically isn't like whether you're at like a music school. Like I went to audio engineering school when I was younger. It was like a
Oh.
trade school in New York City for audio engineering. So like
Hmm.
you learn how to like work in a studio and like run the big boards and
Mhm.
like do
That's
like
sick.
the whole thing and like all the people that were professors at the school were all just like just like compression and just like everything was so by the book from
Mhm.
like old school like audio engineering techniques, which is sick. And like again, they're there for a reason. But like at the same time, it kind of pigeonholes you because you kind of get stuck in this mindset of like I have to do it this way because this is what this person taught me and that's what I know is like right. But like if you kind of can go out of that and like give yourself the freedom
Right.
to like break those rules, and that it kind of gives you like the freedom to like use things in a way that maybe isn't as traditional, you know.
Right. And it's good to know like what they were doing then and what is the traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also good to keep in mind that the source material that they were using was like a microphone in front of an amp
Right.
with a guitar,
Right.
and they
Right.
weren't always slamming a wub into a clipper at like -5 lufs.
Yeah.
So there's like some different, you kind of got to play ball a little different.
Gigantic difference.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Huge
Oh, yeah.
fucking difference.
They were not making big room kicks,
No.
recording in the 60s.
Yeah.
They were
and they're
trying
also
to figure
getting
it
like
out.
this fucking frequency rich,
Yeah.
high movement, high noise
Yeah.
I mean, the speakers,
material to work with.
Right.
It's like all the things that we're trying to make our shit have.
It just
It just comes with it
right.
from right out of the gate for all those people.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like when you're working on these, like you have like a 48 or like a 64 channel like Neve or like an SSL console or like an API or something like really big that has like that natural kind of like analog distortion that you want with things. Like that's like you didn't really have to. Not that you didn't have to do as much back then, but things naturally sounded warmer and richer because you're running it through this processing that's like meant to make it sound warmer and richer because that's what it is. And now it's like we're opening up a computer program and running a computer program within a computer program and having it come out speakers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the
There's
source
nothing
material.
there.
And like, you're literally starting with just like numbers
Right.
and turning it into sound, and it's just like that's such a big variance I think between like that method of mixing versus like our method because it's
crazy.
two different styles, it's two different worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Apples and bananas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a thing to have to understand too. Like,
Right.
Like
God,
I remember just kind of like thinking it's all the same and
Right.
like trying to make things sound good and like very quickly you realize like clean doesn't sound good. Clean sounds sterile and bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Sounds weird. It's like the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
Like something's off, but you don't really know what it is.
Right.
Why doesn't it sound good? It's
Which-
because it's not shitty enough. That's why.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called the dark.
It needs to be shittier.
the dark age of learning how to produce.
Oh, baby.
It's like a year and a half of a desert of
Oh
like,
God.
I know I can make it sound good. It's loud. What does it suck?
Oh,
Yeah.
taking me back, man.
And then you put
I
noise. Then somebody says, just put noise, like just some kind of noise at the bottom of your track, and just squeeze that in. And you do it once, and you're like, ugh.
Oh, it's so full.
What?
The noise makes it sound way
Oh.
better. Why does the shit make it sound
Yeah,
better?
I, it's the weirdest thing.
Just
You would
needed
never
a
imagine
floor.
it. It's like
Nope.
make your thing somewhat shittier and it will sound better.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just like it
But
is like a natural thing
then-
for things to be shitty and beautiful.
Then you get to sit there and ride the line, which is the
Yes.
really fun part.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's like being a producer is when you're just riding that line between
Mhm.
it just
Yeah.
being absolute trash and being the most dirtiest fucking possible thing.
yeah.
Just that line is
It's
It's a
hard.
fine line.
it's like a sunset
Tough
on
little
Maui.
line to run.
It's like sunset
Yeah.
on that.
It is, dude. Finding that line gives me shivers, dude.
Bro, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
And it's also weird because there is a like a whole nother extra line because you can have a tonal cleanliness and like a tonal dirtiness, but you can also have like a mixing cleanliness and a mixing dirtiness.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because like nobody wants a
Exactly.
mud buildup or like fucking
No.
9 sub basses
Yeah.
colliding in
No.
different, you know.
Even if it's majestic, we don't. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we want it clean.
100%.
No matter how majestic it gets,
Yep.
you gotta clean up
gotta
the
keep-
low end.
Oh, crowd like that
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Wow, thanks. That's so nice. Oh.
Oh,
Thanks, fam.
so cute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I'd
that's
be
so true.
curious to know like how you make things sound shittier, or muddier, if you will.
Distortion techniques.
Yeah,
Go.
a lot of distortion.
Yeah.
What's your go-to distortion?
So typically the Ableton Saturator
Okay.
is where I go to. It's really just
That's
like
where I went
like,
also.
You know, it's your bread and butter. It's your meat
Yeah.
and potatoes. It's like you know what you can get out of this. You know what you can do with it. And like 9 times out of 10, it like sounds pretty solid.
Yeah.
I do really like Decapitator by Sound Toys. That's another one that I use like literally every mix that I do. I throw that on
Rectify.
something.
Dude,
Nice.
throw that on the master.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Just go for it on the master?
Yep.
Okay. Huh.
There's no
baby.
rules, baby. There's no
There's
rules
no
here.
rules,
Yeah,
yeah.
It
You
sounds
could- yeah.
so good on the master.
It
Yeah.
gives it this
It's
just
so
like
good.
that and Trash. I love Trash from Isotope. It's like I have a. Are we allowed to say cracked on the show?
Oh, say whatever
Oh
the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
you
We
want.
have a.
Yeah.
I have a cracked version of Trash
Yeah.
too. I know.
I
Shame me.
know,
Shame me.
right?
I know.
I feel like
know,
I feel like that's
We've all
nobody
been
here
there.
actually
We've all been
cracks
there. We were
them.
talking about
Yeah.
Valhalla earlier.
I feel like
and-
that's the one plugin that everybody cracks. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
Trash too. I'm not
Oh
gonna
yeah.
pay for that.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's
You
just,
can't
it
pay
just-
for trash.
No.
Yeah. And
You know what I'm saying?
Isotope is like Isotope.
It's just
come on.
logic.
Yeah. They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
They have so much money.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they make great stuff, and I bought Ozone, so like I feel like I've contributed in some way. But
That's good.
yeah, Trash 2 on especially my drum bus has been a huge way to like add texture. The other thing is Multipass from Kilohertz.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, their dynamic section and distortion section. Just like even just the presets they have before you can even like get in like manipulate anything, it just gives it this like either this like fullness or this crackle or this like it makes the whole thing just sound like bigger and just so much more textured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of have this weird thing where I'm almost scared of distorting things to a degree. Like I definitely use saturation and distortion and stuff, but for some reason I almost feel like scared to push it
No.
a lot of the time.
No, you gotta.
And yeah, everybody who makes sick ass music that I love is always like, "Yeah, dude, just push it, just do
Yeah.
it till
You gotta
you fucking sound
dive.
sick."
You gotta dive headfirst into that pond.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You're
God.
if you keep your input and your output like kind of similar with where they are, and that's how you can use it effectively without like clipping the mix because
Yeah,
you're
it's like the whole thing. Is
Yeah.
is the input.
it's gain staging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's key.
Yeah.
You're talking about on the master? Or what are you talking about?
In general,
Just in general, yeah. Like if, like,
Just
say we're making a
overly
bass sound.
distorting things?
Yeah, I feel like because it's the whole thing about like what you're talking about, where it's like there's like the old guy rules of how you technically should do the thing,
Yeah.
and it's like everybody I see that their music I love, they're taking their one bass sound and in the sound design process boosting fucking distortion or boosting whatever kind of thing, and I always just feel like timid to do it.
no, I feel like you should. I feel like that might help your.
It probably
make
would.
mixes.
Yeah, it
'Cause
probably would be
You'd be
great.
surprised.
Fatten things up for you.
Yeah.
And there's a couple facets to this. You'd be surprised how far you can push it, where it
Yeah.
still sounds fine.
Very true.
And you'd be surprised how far you can push it where it sounds like shit on its own. But when you listen to it in the whole track, you
Yeah.
can't hear that shit
No,
at
it's
all.
It's
You're
just
like,
gel.
whoa, there's no, you're like, all of a sudden the sound sounds the same. It's just louder now and more aggressive. But when you solo it,
Yeah.
it goes back to being like kind of flappy or whatever. You're like, what? But in context, it sounds great.
Yeah,
So
right.
you always gotta.
And that's another
always
huge thing is like,
experiment.
yeah, the whole mixing in concept kind of thing, or in context kind of thing.
Mhm.
Because it's easy to like have your one sound soloed and you're working on it, you're tweaking it, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, sick, this sounds cool. But like, yeah, when you do tweak it with the whole mix, you can kind of like blow out your kick and it still sounds good, or like do all these weird things.
Yeah, the solo button is like the angel of death.
Dude,
you
it
know?
really
Like,
is
it's
in a
so
way.
tempting. You're just like, oh, I just want to.
T-shirts coming
don't do
out
it.
in like a
Yeah, the
couple
angel
months.
of
It'll take
death.
a little while to get them
Yeah.
printed.
Dude, I mean,
Solo button is the angel of death.
I solo
Fucking
all the time.
legit t-shirt.
Yeah,
That is great.
I do it all the time, but I'm always super mindful.
Yeah.
I'm always just like, I'm gonna
Yep.
solo this just to see if I can get it to the sound I'm trying to hear in my head.
Yep.
And then once it kind of gets there, then it's only in context so
Yep.
I can get it just right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't trust myself. I've made it. I've destroyed too many projects going around soloing things.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, wow, this project is dead now.
Yeah.
You're dead to me.
And you can't go back because
No.
at that point it's just like everything is so overcooked that you
Yep.
can't like even if you go to a backup like it's just not it just doesn't have the same.
Yeah, it's like you
thing,
juiced the
like-
vibe out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
yeah. You just
wrung it out.
Fully. Bye.
It's what we call
See you
a
later.
used track.
Yep.
It's been used.
Mm-hmm.
Poor thing. It's been
Poor
touched.
thing.
When it comes to like oversaturating things, I'm pretty gentle generally with my saturation, for the most part.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking specifically whenever I'm doing things.
What do you use saturation most on? Like
Everything.
everything. Okay.
Yes.
Good. I like that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
it's
I guess.
pretty-
Yeah. No, that's a good. That's what I wanted to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
full-
like
full swath.
there's minimum one on each channel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Probably multiple. But like I really like multi-band saturating. I think is like the most
Yeah.
epic thing I've realized recently.
yeah.
Because you can just smash the highs,
Yep.
and the highs will just
Take it.
be fine
Yep.
Yeah.
getting smashed, and then you get this insane crispiness out of your high end that you
It's
just
just
cannot
like-
get if you're saturating the whole thing together.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so little things like that, you have to fucking sit there and fiddle with it.
Yeah,
though.
you got to toy with it.
You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
be scared of it. You just gotta
No,
like
you just gotta
fuck
go
with
for
it,
it. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
eventually it's like fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You figure it
it's-
out.
Yeah. You're getting your sea legs. Like before
Yeah.
you're fucking with distortion and you're scared of it, it's gonna seem weird.
Right.
But after you're like 2 months into just like not caring and
Watch some
giving into it.
videos.
Yeah.
then you'll hear a sound and be like, oh, and you'll throw in a thing and you'll know you need to drive it to 20%, and that's going to give you exactly
Yep.
what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like you can feel it. I know that sounds cliche as fuck, but you can.
No, that's
know?
right. No, that's right. I
You
mean,
can.
it's the same thing with compression too. I mean, like
Yep.
even if you're not like again, like I don't use it as much as I would do saturation, but like it still takes a while to kind of get to the point where you can actually hear like what the compression is doing,
Mhm.
because like after a while
Oh,
you're just
yeah.
like, oh no, just turn everything all the way, and I don't know, it's doing something.
It turned it
just
down.
Yeah.
no,
literally
just made
turning it
more
down.
quiet, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you're right. It is
Yeah,
just
right.
turning it down. It's just really fast.
Right.
and making it more muddy a lot of the time.
Yeah.
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 Just muddying it right up.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And not in the majestic way.
Nah. in the Majestic
Yeah.
way. Nope.
Another thing I was going to say, Austin, in terms of taking saturation easy, is what I'll do a lot of times is like throw on a saturator, get it to a point where I like it, and then just turn the mix down to like 10. And then I'll add another one, like a tube, and I'll
Oh,
get that one kind
yeah.
of cool, and I'll turn that one down to 5, and I'll just
Yeah.
keep going. And sometimes as I'm building the track, I will go back to sounds and like increase the wetness of this one, or like no, I like that it just needs more of another one, so I'll add another.
Yep.
Like some sounds I'll have like 7,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all at low wet,
Yeah,
but
right.
it just led it to that point in the mix while I was building the whole song together, where now that sound is sitting where it needs to sit with everything.
yeah.
Perhaps you throw an EQ between a couple.
Oh,
Have to.
basically
Right?
every
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
one.
Every single time.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it's just blank, just because it's like, well, maybe.
Maybe. I
I
don't know what I
want
want.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know yet, but I want it there so I can click real
I
quick.
want it there so I can grab a bell and just like sweep it around
Yes,
and
exactly.
find like, oh, there's cool there.
Yep,
That's good.
Do
that is the mentality.
do y'all do a lot of subtractive EQing with your music?
Totally.
Yeah.
A healthy amount, I'd
Yeah.
say. Yeah. I'm definitely one of those people who boosts more than subtracts.
Okay.
And maybe that's like a weird beginner thing. But a lot of the times I am boosting into distortion to give like another tone.
Mm-hmm.
So it like makes sense in that
like, with-
kind of
yeah.
process.
Well,
you
you're,
know?
you're like raising harmonics in like one specific area so that it like is more full in that
Yeah, it's like
specific
a-
Mhm.
range. in a
Exactly.
way.
Exactly. Yeah. But I could definitely be better about more subtractive EQing just in all of my channels as a whole. I'm
Yeah.
sure I could be better about it.
Yeah, man, I definitely subtractive EQ the shit out of shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
do
I
you
just
span?
I just call it EQing. I do monitor with span,
Yeah.
but I
I haven't gotten into
EQ.
span that much. I've been using
dude, you
like
have
Flux.
to. Dude, span is span has like single-handedly been like the one plugin that has changed how my mix down sound.
Oh yeah, I
Really?
mean, especially
Dude, you
once you
can-
learn how to read it and then
Yep.
learn how you need to read it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
like one of the keys.
Because you
And
can, I mean,
that's
you can
fair.
see like everything on your like you can see where your sub is hitting. You
Yeah.
can see
Yeah.
where your like you can just visually see where everything is, and like if you solo, one you have a synth that has like a little like wild like mid high that you can't quite tame, and you throw span on, you solo it, you can just see where that specific frequency is, and you can just pause it. So it'll say it's like, oh, this is at like like 2100 hertz, and then you just take that and then subtract it from an EQ that you have on that on that
Yeah.
channel, and then you just take it away. So you're like removing very specifically what you need to instead of like
Big time. Yeah.
overly like removing it. That was my problem for a while. It was just like I was just cutting so much out, and there was just none of the sound left that I like because you just scope so much of everything else out. It's
you
just
gotta
like
be careful.
It gets
Yeah.
thin,
oh yeah,
baby.
so thin.
You gotta use those real tight cues.
Mm-hmm.
And
real
have
tight
a
cues.
reference on hand just to make sure,
Like,
like,
should be right
oh,
back, boys.
is it?
Yeah.
It? I don't know if it's gonna be like too thin or not. Go check a reference track, and you're like, oh, okay, I know.
Yeah.
I know how thick it's got to be.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
You know?
yeah, that's
Yep.
key. The reference track is huge too.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things in Isotope they have, or in Isotope and Ozone, they have a like a reference meter where you can basically like load up, you know, a song that you want to reference, and it'll show you graphically like on a spectrum where like the top end, or not the top, but like the peaks of the other song are,
Right.
and where yours are, so you can figure out like,
Yeah.
oh, like I want to make my track sound like a G Jones track, and at this specific frequency he has it like up here, and I'm like down here.
Right.
So
right.
you can like go in and like very like selectively tune your song to like make it fit something else that sounds like
Right.
yeah,
right.
like a good reference for it.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Our buddy used to talk about. I'm sure he would still rep this idea, but John would say with Q3 Pro Q3,
Oh yeah.
you can do like you could like model the EQ of a thing basically by referencing it with the plugin, and then it'll build a EQ that tries to mimic that.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
And you can do it against another sound. So you can make a like nice clean kick drum, for instance, and then reference a kick that has some like cool tone to it,
oh wow.
and then apply that to your
Yeah.
clean kick, and it'll give it a lot of that like
It'll like cut
character.
and boost to try and make it there.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
that's some wizardry.
Yeah, I've never.
Kinda
I was gonna say I've
bullshit
never
right
like
there.
I've never really thought to like do that sequentially or like
I
put
know,
that
right?
together in that way. But I mean, dude, that's I might have to
I'm
try
not
it
saying
now.
I
That's
do
rad.
it, guys.
Yo, did y'all hear about that thing that Mr. Bill does with his with EQ3? He was talking about on his podcast. I forgot who he was on with, but like he was saying that like if you can take like 30 or like 60 EQ3s and you put them on a song,
Oh, right,
without touching anything, like without doing anything to it, and somehow the way that like the phasing of the EQs interact with each other, it causes these like weird tones to come out. And like
Right, what
the
is
more
that called?
Artifacts.
No.
No?
Well,
Yes?
yeah, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, but I don't know what the technical term is for it, and I feel like I should, but it was just
Same.
like it's the same thing. Like you would never think to like just put 30 EQ3s on a song.
No, only Mr.
Like,
Bill would.
but-
It does
of
what
course.
Disperser does. What is man? I forget. I
I
wish
don't know what
could-
disperser
Oh.
does. I have no
I'm
idea
sorry,
what the fuck
guys.
that thing is.
I'm failing you. I should know this. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not actually that important.
That's
to know
interesting
the word.
though. And like,
Yeah.
of course, Mr. Bill is like, yeah,
Oh,
what happens
dude.
if we do 60?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Dude is, I mean, talk about a wizard. I mean, that dude is like,
Yeah.
anytime I watch one of his videos, I walk away and I'm just like, dude,
I know, right?
even from like 5-6 years ago, like it's still like so relevant. Like
Yeah.
all the videos that he makes are like so relevant to modern production.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's a little dated and it's like look and
Sure,
video
sure.
and all that, you know?
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing is how he's somehow in every video comes across like you guys should have already known this.
Yeah, right.
Like, why am I the guy telling you this? Like every time he's like, yeah, you just God damn it, you just take a transient and you put the transient on your kick. Who cares? All right, thanks. I'm Mr. Bill. And you're like, wow, that was actually really
Cool.
informative.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of personality. That guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's great.
Shout
and
out
he's
Mr.
just
Bill.
so like
Shout out,
blunt
Bill.
at the
Shout
same
out, Bill.
time. It's
I'm
great.
Bill,
Love you, Bill.
legend.
Nothing
Yeah.
but respect.
Legend.
Love you, bud.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
Wouldn't
but
be
love you.
here without
Yeah.
you, Bill. We love you.
Probably move out of
Honestly-
San Francisco though.
Yeah.
Do you mind if
Just
I
saying.
snag?
I mean,
Oh, no,
Denver
no,
is
brother.
better than San
No, I got
Francisco.
brunch.
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh,
but
and
Fuck, yeah, I appreciate that.
I feel like he knows this.
I like Denver, Bill.
I love Denver.
London Drive.
Me too.
I love Denver.
Same.
It's been great.
Same.
Born and raised, baby.
Hell yeah. Bro, it's such a welcome change from the East Coast being here. Like I grew up in Connecticut right outside of New York City, and like the East Coast definitely like has its own scene, but like it's not a bass music scene at all, or really like an electronic music scene. Like there's
Yeah.
like techno in New York City, but it's
Right.
really just like there's like a hardcore scene and there's like some hip hop. and other than that, it's kind of just like people are just angry and just pissed off and like half drunk all the time. It's just like, bro, why am I still here? Like everyone sucks. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the food is great, and like
Oh,
I
sure.
love the food from I pizza
Yeah.
on the East Coast.
It's
is
hard
spoils
when you
me.
come here.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like just in general, just like I feel like people and like music and just like culture out here, like it's just like it feels like a night and day difference. I just feel more like calm out here.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
like
good.
back east, I
Yeah.
was like so like
Well, it's pretty
just
chill.
tense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
much people.
Yeah, and everyone's just
God.
on top of each other,
Yeah.
mad and just like
yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to
do the
get shit
business
done,
thing,
make
Yeah.
money,
whatever.
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
like the
yeah.
energy's good, but also that energy causes everyone to be anxious. And
Oh, yeah.
annoyed
Right.
constantly.
Dude, that's why I left New York. I mean, I was living there for like a year or so, working for a studio, and so I was running the studio. I was the PA to the owner, and I ran the internship program.
Damn,
for
look at you go.
less than minimum wage every week.
Oh.
And
God.
for like 9 months or like 10 months, I did that. And like at the same time, I was subletting spots because I didn't want to like sign a
Right,
long term
right,
thing on a lease
right.
because I was like, I got to get the fuck out of the studio. And dude, like after like 10 months of that, I was just like being in the city and like all the stimulus all the time from
You're ready
everything
to
and
die.
like going out. And I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna go crazy. Like I need to move the fuck out of New York. This is like it was way too much.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
way
I'm about to
too much.
explode right
Yeah,
now.
Literally.
Well, you got out there in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
No.
2020 seemed to fuck New York.
Seemed like a rough
Pretty
year
hard.
for New York.
Pretty
Yeah.
hard.
Had a
Yeah.
hard time recovering from that one.
Oh my god.
I also love that you came to Denver of all places too, because maybe this is
Base
just in my
capital,
own
baby.
head.
Base, baby.
It is also
Base
base
capital,
capital,
baby.
yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
But yeah, there's been like this weird thing. So I've lived here my whole life, so I've
Okay.
kind of like watched it develop into base capital, which has been a
Okay.
weird thing.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
has
like-
been a weird thing.
It's been so weird, right? It's become this like epicenter of not only like cool bass music, but just like creativity in general.
Oh, dude, exactly.
Right? Like you go into Denver, there's like artwork on every corner now.
Yep.
And like
Yeah,
all
it's
these
sick.
other like weird random little artistic things that are going down. And of course like the music scene is just fucking insane
Dude,
right now.
The shows that come through Denver are like festival lineups, like every week. Like dude,
Yeah.
like this Thursday, I'm seeing Chi and Saruta at
Oh,
church,
Yeah.
and
are
it's
you
like,
really?
dude,
We
like
saw that.
it's a $15 ticket, by the way.
Oh.
I'm
Dude,
sure.
Oh
like,
my
you-
God, then
you
we have to go
You
then.
have
I'm
to
pretty
go.
sure
like,
it's sold out already.
15
oh no, I
bucks?
bought my ticket like 2 hours ago.
Oh,
Legit.
okay, let's fucking
So
go.
yeah, let's all
Let's go.
let's squad up.
I'm
Let's
dude,
squad.
I'm
Actually,
so down.
I think Nick is gonna come too.
You guys just keep
Nick,
talking.
if you're
Let's
watching
go.
this, you
Let's
have
go.
to come now because I called you
Yeah,
out on the internet.
let's do it.
Yep, he called you out.
Um,
You're going, Nick.
But dude, but even that, like you have like Chi and Saruta on the same bill on a Thursday night. Like,
Fuck yeah.
dude, when the fuck is that gonna come through Hartford, Connecticut? You know
Yeah.
what I
It's
mean? Like
happening
when
at
is
the
that?
church?
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds great.
Dude, it's gonna be.
I know,
I've
right?
actually never
Yeah.
been to that venue before.
like
I've
the
always
church.
I haven't
wanted
either.
It's
to.
pretty good.
It's. I know that there's a lot of house that goes down there, and like I've seen some bass acts go through, but it just hasn't really been anything that I've been
Yeah,
like
not huge
itching.
bass acts. Some good house acts for sure. But
Yeah.
I like that it's happening though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always thought it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
a house thing, but it's cool that they're
But dude, like Chi and
The venue's
Saruta,
sick.
and
Yeah,
you
fucking-
know they're gonna do a back to back at the end of the night too. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that for me is like I think that like so EPROM back to back or EPROM into Saruta into Charles at like the Charles the First thing in Wyoming a couple months ago,
Mhm.
and like that was enough for my brain to just short circuit. Like that was the first time I've seen Saruta and Charles, and just seeing that.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, like I'm gonna just quit music.
Yeah.
Like this dude is just too good. Like I'm just gonna quit music.
I know,
you
right?
can't,
And
you
then,
can't do that.
No, I mean, I would never.
Right.
I would never. But like, you just hear it. You just hear the sounds that this man makes, and you're just like, yo, like, damn.
Right.
Dude,
And we were
you
actually
ever watch
um,
Saruta stream?
Yeah. So
Oh,
I
he's
actually
Shout out
funny to watch
Saruta
stream,
on
yeah.
Big up
Twitch,
Saruta.
Shout out.
baby.
Big up Saruta, baby.
I like watching Saruta stream because it makes me feel like, okay, he's one of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he's out there grinding it out because he's sitting there going through shit, and he's like,
yeah, he'll be on one
I
loop
am
for like
still
an
not
hour.
feeling this. And
Yeah.
you're like, I feel you, bro.
But that,
Yeah.
but then he comes out with like the sickest 16
Yeah.
bar loop that you've
Oh,
ever
yeah.
heard before. And you're just like, well,
Yeah.
fuck me, right?
Yeah. He's so
God.
Hey, keep
right?
trying.
Yeah.
Something I love about Did you ever take, by chance, you know how Chi came out with that little,
So I bought the Chi class.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of it right now, and I
Nice.
actually saw the Saruta class went on sale.
oh, there's a Saruta one. I didn't even see that.
On the IO music course
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a Saruta course that was like half off, so it was only like $20.
Oh,
And I
let's
was like,
go.
all right, well, I'm not gonna not cop that because it's a Saruta course, and like
Yeah,
he
fire.
might know a thing or two that he could teach me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nuggies.
But dude,
No
yeah, those
doubt.
classes are
So sick, right?
tits. Yeah.
And something I love about, we were talking about it before the podcast, is the whole, make chaos, make a mud pie,
Yeah.
just have a bunch of just random shit going on, and then you kind of fine tune it kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like Chi in his production class, whatever, was all about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
loves the chaos theory, and I'm sure Saruta does too, because they're like homies. You
Oh,
know?
dude. and
So
yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
right.
Even
So-
even watching Chi like put together, like he'll start with like, oh, excuse me. He'll take a drum loop that just like this like random loop that he's like never heard before, throw it into a session, could be completely different BPM,
Mhm.
and then take the warping off on it, and then just move the pitch, like move
Yeah.
the semitones up or down, and then like fits it into like a certain time frame, and then samples that so it has this like weird kind of like wonky swing to it without even like touching the groove pool, and like he'll use that, and that becomes the flow of the song. So like he'll extract the
Right.
groove from there, use that in the groove pool, then use the same type of like a swing, like the same type of
Yeah.
like rhythmic pattern
Brilliant.
for leads, and then like do the same. It's just like watching him work. I'm just like, dude, you are just a wizard in every sense of the word. Like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, big up Chi.
Yeah.
Been a lot, but yeah, he's a real one.
I remember in one of the classes, and this could be fucked up, and I'm sorry, Chi, but I'm giving away one of your secrets. He took Valhalla Shimmer and just
We
did
give
a
away all the
100%
secrets.
mix on it
The
and like a good
necessary
amount of
ones.
feedback just to give it some like weird width and like strange tone. And he didn't keep it on the channel during the beat, but he like resampled it and took like little bits from it and kind of like chopped it up. So like in that like percussive kind of layer, you have those weird elements that like suck in and like fill the room kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at the end of like the chapter 1 or 2 where it's like just all the drum stuff, the beat alone sounded insane.
Oh my god, dude! If it's the one that I think that you're talking about, I was listening to it and I'm just like, dude, fuck
Yeah,
off! This
and
is
it's
like,
just a
dude,
beat.
it's so good. This is like better
Yeah.
than anything I made in the past like 2 months, dude. Fuck you, like.
Right? Yeah. There's no
not really,
bass
but
line, there's no
yeah.
melody. It's
No,
just
it's
a beat.
it's
and you're
just
like,
a beat, and you're just like,
oh, yeah.
ah.
Dirtiest, baby.
Shout out Chi, you're a legend, my man.
Big
Oh
ups.
shit! Black Coffee is going to be at the
Big
church
ups.
too.
See you soon.
Oh.
Oh no way! That would be a good show.
That would be a crazy good show.
So,
it's-
I'm actually curious, outside of a lot of the technical stuff, because I like to get more like philosophical and influential kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
What is like, maybe outside of artists who inspire you, but like, what is your inspiration for making music as a whole? Do you just get hyped to like be creative? Do you just like making beats because it's fun, or like, is there an overarching thing or something?
Well, it's a very good question. I mean, I think like it, you hear people say it all the time, but like truly, like music kind of saved my life. I just like didn't have a sense of purpose or direction for a very long time, and was like super depressed and like drinking a lot and doing drugs and just like not really just like finding like a path with things and just kind of like going.
Yeah.
But I was always like, music was always just like very much on the back burner. Like I have always like really been super passionate about music even before I started producing. Like I've just always wanted to like be involved in music somehow. And then I kind of had like I'm not a religious person, like a come to Jesus moment, or I not like a, I kind of like had an epiphany type of thing on my birthday a couple of years ago.
Totally.
And it was one of those things where it's just like, this is like the only like pure true thing that like you have really been into for a very long time. And you kind of have either a shot to do it now and to like fully go for it, or just kind of give up and just kind of let it go away. And I was just like, well, fuck it. Like, I'm just not going to let it slip up at this point. And then just like dove totally headfirst back into production and like redid a new project. Yeah, it's been great. It's given me like a total sense of purpose, and
That's cool, man. That's cool.
it's been great. It's been great.
That's what we like to hear, baby.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out music.
I know, dude, honestly, yeah.
Shout out music saving your life.
I definitely have like a similar kind of thing to that. I'm not going to go into it, but
For
like,
sure,
that,
for sure.
that is cool to hear. That
Yeah,
it's
man.
just
Yeah, it's great, and like I've not like mentored, but I do production lessons and stuff online to some people, and like some of the people that I've talked to, it's just like it's like it's not always going to be exactly how you want it, but like if you keep working at it for a while and like you keep grinding and just like trusting yourself and know that you're doing the right thing, then like eventually things will start to kind of move in the right direction. And like really like the big thing for me was just like putting the time in, like and working on it, because like when I'm not distracted, like you know like doing drugs and fucking drinking all the time and like just getting crazy and fucking off and like just not taking
crazy
things seriously. Yeah, like when you're out doing all that shit, like you're not focusing on what you need to focus on. And by like removing a lot of that element and like spending the time and like actually just like sitting in front of my computer for 8 hours at a time, it's like, oh shit, like if you actually work on this, like you can get stuff done. It's so crazy how that works.
Oh, crazy.
But yeah,
it is remarkable
so
every single time to me.
Shit.
Yeah.
Every single time I'm like, you know what? I think all you have to do is just sit there on it.
You just got to do it. You literally just have to do it. And that's the thing is like if you can just like commit to sitting there for a while and like like getting into a rhythm of doing it and like not just like getting off the couch and doing shit.
So what you're saying is, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, of course.
I think I got this though. Hard work pays off.
Yeah, you need to produce music to be a music
Sounds
producer.
like some
I
fucking
see.
American bullshit. if you ask me.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Big sheesh on that moment.
This is actually a thing I was thinking about talking about was very related to this idea, which is I feel like the first idea you have is never the best idea.
No.
I feel like the best idea is always like the third or the fourth.
Or the 7th.
Or the 400th, you know what I'm saying?
Or the 3rd and the 4th are pretty cool. The 7th one is also pretty cool. 9 is the one.
Yeah.
But those
8
other ones are pretty good. So flatten them down so you can just like use them later. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
who knows? They might inspire something, or you can.
They might be just like
destroy them.
a little bleep in your project.
Yeah.
But that,
You know,
but dude, like that bleep
stays.
sometimes can start a project.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can, it's like it's not working for this song, but let me open up like a new session and do it.
Yeah.
And dude, you load that session into a new sample and you start to build something around that.
Yeah.
And you have a song done in 2 hours.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's how she goes.
Yeah.
That's how she goes.
Yeah. You
So
Totally.
weird how it works.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
build,
like,
build.
never
Yeah.
doubt the next click.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're stuck and you're like, I don't know what to do. Like literally,
Yeah.
just like I mean.
Anything.
I don't know about Ableton, but in Bitwig we can just right click and bounce, and then I have audio.
I don't even know what that's. I don't even know what that's all about.
Dude, yeah.
Everything.
So basically, these guys have been Ableton pioneers for the past 6 years.
Yeah,
And
it's
they
true.
just discovered Bitwig.
No, I didn't just
And-
discover it.
Oh, like 2 months, 3 months, whatever.
No, I mean I fucked
More
with Bitwig.
recently.
We
I
just
fucked with
started
Bitwig
using
too.
it.
I don't
Okay,
know.
sure.
So
Back in the day.
I gotta come clean. So I'm not really too sure what Bitwig
It's
is.
just another
It's a
DAW.
DAW.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's like, yeah, just a
Who makes
newer... Who does
Bitwig.
it?
Bitwig.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not like a. Okay.
No, it's some
yeah,
guys
it's not like
who
a
left
big
Ableton.
company. Yeah.
Oh.
They
Oh.
used to work for
Oh,
Ableton,
yeah.
and they started
Oh,
Bitwig,
yeah.
and now
That's
it's like...
interesting.
And it's a
Yes,
sick
yes, it
program.
is.
Like, there's a lot of things that, like, Ableton doesn't do.
That's an understatement.
And, like, it's honestly incredible.
We could go
not at the
on,
point where I
but-
want to. Yeah, we don't need to...
And that's not the point of this. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
they're not sponsoring the podcast yet. So
But soon I might wear
Push
an
it for
orange
it,
shirt. Might start wearing an orange shirt just to give them the notice.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, always go for the next click. Like always,
Oh, yeah.
just like you don't know what to do.
Yep.
I don't know. Put Portal on the master and resample
Yeah.
it.
Fuck
Who
it.
knows? Just fucking
Dude, and even like half the battle is just like doing it.
yeah.
For me, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like half of it is really just like it, it's just like getting up and like actually just like opening something and like starting to click it. Because like 9 times out
Yeah.
of 10, you open something and you're kind of like not in the right mindset going into it, and you kind of start clicking around a little bit, and then like
Oh,
you
yeah.
kind of just start to get into a rhythm, and you just start to. It's just like you're just like
Yeah. Throw
just
some
going
reverb
again.
on there, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
you just
right,
need
right,
Yeah.
right.
you just need
just like,
something to make.
yeah,
Yeah.
just something
Yeah.
to like redirect kind of what your thought process
Right.
is to like get you in that productive kind
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
of area.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's the whole, like, flow state kind of concept.
Yeah,
As
dude,
cheesy as
exactly.
it can be. Like,
no,
it's
for
a
sure.
very fucking real
No,
thing, right?
I could not agree more.
and
Could not
sometimes
agree more.
weed kind of just
Oh, weed is insane.
gets
for
you,
it, yeah.
kind of hops you over into that groove. And you can just
It's wild.
Especially when you're stuck on something. I find that like if I'm like working on a tune and I get like really stuck, I'm just like, fuck man, like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this, and like take a dab or like smoke a doob or like walk outside for a little bit and then like come back to it like with just like 5 or 10 minutes away with a fresh perspective, and you come in and you listen to it again, and you're just like, oh wait, that's what's wrong. Like it just like it
Right.
opens up this kind of
Gigantic.
like this
Yeah.
huge kind of just like light
Huge.
bulb flashes
Yeah.
for you, and you're just like, oh, I know what to do. And not that I'm promoting like self medication or anything, but we're all adults, and you know if you want to
Yep.
smoke weed, then you can smoke weed. And I like to smoke weed
Yeah.
to make music.
Yeah.
So
Goddamn
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
Well, that I mean, you can even like step
Goddamn
outside.
right.
goddamn right, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers, brother. Yeah.
You can even step outside and listen to like somebody else's track, like
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
just hit play on
Yeah.
your Spotify, and it could be a country
Yeah.
song.
Get out of the
doesn't even
studio,
matter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Out of the
Change
huge.
the scenery
studio.
is huge.
something.
Especially if you have studios like ours.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all dead and shit.
Yeah, it's
You
so
don't want to
dead.
be sitting in that dead room
No.
for a
No.
long, long
Dude, I
time.
feel that.
You
I
want to
feel
take
that on a
breaks,
very real
even
level.
if you are inspired. Like it's
Oh.
good
Yeah.
to take.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's good to just go outside
Yep.
and like shoot some hoops. Just
Yeah.
do something else because you're also staring at a screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
God,
like-
yeah,
Big
give
time.
your eyes a break too. Not
Yeah.
Big
let
time.
alone
Yeah.
your ears. You know.
Although I
like,
think
yeah.
my ears give out first.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Same.
For
without
sure.
a doubt. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
gotten the blue light glasses.
Yeah,
that,
that's
like,
what I
dude,
got on.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
really?
It is for me. It has been
Huh.
a absolute
It's
night
huge.
and day difference.
It's
Yeah, I could
huge.
go from producing for like maybe like 3 or 4 hours or so, and then afterwards just being like my brain and my eyes are just cooked, and I just can't even like do anything anymore. To like I can like sit in front of the computer for like a full like 8 to 10 hours. Like and like
What?
get up and like do things obviously in between and
Sure,
like,
but
like
you
take
keep
10-minute
cruising.
breaks, but like I can go through and my eyes
Yeah.
aren't like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it
that
just-
feeling at the end of the day with it's just like
Oh yeah.
it is a night and day difference for me personally.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. It's the ears for me.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
have an issue. I
Yep.
gotta. It's obvious at this point, so it's nice. It's
Right.
work, and then at some point I'm like, okay,
This isn't making sense anymore. I gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
can't
gotta get
focus.
outta
You
here.
just
focus
feel
on
it. You
anything.
hear it. You're like, I know I'm done at this
I
point.
know that I'm
gonna
not
go do a thing.
actually like making good decisions. I'm just like thinking of things to do now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, then
Instead
you
of,
start
like,
forcing
sitting
it too.
here.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you're just like you want to keep going, and you're just
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not. My ears aren't hurt. I can just keep going. And then you come back to it like an hour later, and everything is just like,
Yeah.
your snare is here, and it should be here, and like your kick just like completely
Like, why did I
disappeared,
do
and like
that? What
your
in the
sub
world
is
is going
muted,
on?
and you're just like, oh my god,
I
like,
know,
why did
right?
I even like
Yeah.
what was my intention here?
Because you weren't listening.
Right.
You like your brain shut off your ears.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
thought your
You were
ears
on
were
like
good.
You were hearing,
autopilot
you weren't
or
listening.
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
you were hearing it. You weren't listening.
Yeah.
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 It's so important.
But
time.
Something you actually told me, Dave, like 2 years ago or something at this point, is that sometimes when you take an ear break, you'll just stand outside and just listen to the noise of the city
Mhm.
Oh my god.
and cars
yes.
around you, and like you just hear it way differently than your studio.
yeah.
Like you
Mhm.
hear this fucking some dude doing construction over here, and then this car's driving way
Oh,
over
yeah.
here, and then fucking
Oh yeah.
it's called
and it
Being
just like
Daredevil.
opens your world up. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
called what?
Being Daredevil.
yeah.
It's like perched on a building, and you hear all the crime happening.
Exactly.
It's called
right.
being Daredevil.
Being
That's so
Daredevil. dude.
funny.
It's literally
Being Ben Affleck.
being a producer and being in the real world is unlike anything anybody could understand if
Yeah.
you're not that person.
Right.
Because when you're walking around, you hear things better and
Oh, dude, it's
differently
so
than
wild.
everybody else hears
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear a
And
door,
it's
and you're like,
fantastic. You're like, oh,
It can be. It can be. Like, but I get irritable places. Like I notice things like quicker than other people will, I feel like I'll be like, like I used to be on the subway a lot and people would like be like talking on their phone on speaker
oh,
or like listen to music or something like that, and they would be at like the complete opposite end of the subway. And I'm sitting
Maybe
over
a
there and
little
I'm like,
yeah.
That's so funny.
I'm not saying anything obviously because I want to get stabbed, but like just like looking
Yeah.
over like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I see you over there.
Mm-hmm. I see you being obnoxious.
Yeah,
like,
that-
oh, that snare sounds like
or
shit.
somebody. Well, whatever you're listening to, it sounds flimsy.
It sounds flimsy.
That or when people chew with their mouth wide open.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
right.
Yeah, dude. It's just. I mean, it's just
the
common
worst
decency. It's
ASMR.
like- yeah.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah. You just.
I
It's
need some-
amazing.
I need some
It's
earmuffs.
amazing when they don't notice themselves
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah.
Yeah.
God.
No, the
right.
lack
It
of
is pretty
self-awareness is
incredible.
incredible.
It
It
is.
really is.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
God bless them. I kind of sometimes I wish I had that kind of not self-awareness.
I
This is
know,
the
it's-
ignorance is bliss kind
know.
of thing.
I know.
Yeah.
You
there's
can
a
in other ways.
portion.
Like, you could if you want in like whatever else that isn't sound.
Yeah,
Like you could
Yeah.
not,
I don't think. Yeah,
I wouldn't want.
I'm
to
sure
be
I
at this
do
point.
have it in
Now
some
that
areas, but like
Yeah.
But if you're a
Like
if
to
you're
pick it
a
up.
if you're a if you have a good attention to detail in one thing, for example, music production, feel like it carries across in most things. Where
Yeah, that's a fair point.
if you
That's a
like,
fair point.
Things.
even
Yeah.
if you try painting for the first time, and
excellence
somebody's
recognizes excellence.
yeah, and somebody's like, "Oh, you did a good job," you're like, "This is trash." All right, I'm not a painter, but I know this is not good.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
fuck
at
off.
least you're coming at it with an element of like, oh, I understand contrast. I understand making a thing stand
Yeah,
out
you
more
know
than
all
another
the
thing. I
things,
understand
yeah.
like, yeah, even though it's a completely different medium.
Right, you're still you understand attention to detail.
I mean,
Yeah.
painting is easy. That's not a good.
Oh, shut
It's not
up!
a good representation.
No.
Giving a
beg-
blowjob, for example, like I'm sure female producers. I mean,
Oh my god.
or male producer, or male producer, depending on what you're into. You know,
yeah. I mean,
you know. This is 2021. We're open here.
Any
Yeah, we're
producer.
open.
Yeah,
Let's
come
go.
on now. Come on now.
No. In all reality, we just need more females to make music. It's like
well, that
I
is a
love
true
that.
statement.
I've been-
Honestly, I
I've
don't
been-
even know if it's. I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't know if it's. I don't think that it's more women need to make music. I think that the people that are kind of in control of who gets to play shows and like who gets to release music, I think that dynamic needs to change because it's like a lot of. I mean, not
Really?
as a straight white guy, I can't really say too much.
Sure, it's
but like it's a
tough.
pretty straight white guy dominated industry, and I feel like a
Definitely.
lot of the people that are doing it like don't necessarily take women as seriously for whatever reason. And because of that, like if you have a guy producer and you have a girl producer and they both send tracks in, you know, if you're like an A&R for label X or label Y or whatever, and you're listening to it, then you just kind of, you know that this is a guy for some reason that just, it's just controlled by mostly guys. So it kind of tends to go that way, in my opinion.
I don't know. I've been teaching music production stuff, having classes, free classes, shit like this. We had a meetup group for years, and I've seen 5 women go through that whole entire thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen 200 men.
For sure.
Yeah.
You
well,
know?
I think part of
Like-
it too is like there's not enough,
Yeah.
you know, like there's not enough examples for women
Totally.
or for younger girls to
Totally.
latch onto because like you have like now like you start to have like some women that are starting to break through the scene, like at least in bass music you have like you know, you've like 100 Drums, you have Zia, you have like Vampa, you have like
Rez,
girls that are
Lucy.
like Rez, Lucy, you have
Yeah.
like girls are starting to like get a presence in bass music, which I think is good for the scene in general
Yeah.
because it like
Mm-hmm.
it opens up who wants to go to shows and it makes it more fun for everybody because it's not just like, you know, like whooked out dudes in the back of the show just
Totally.
like so Kate out there.
Oh yeah.
Doing whippets.
Yeah,
and shit.
and you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I feel like as time goes on and like more women start to get representation in the dance music industry, then it'll kind of open the door for more women to want to do that because like you can kind of see that like, oh hey, like like I'm not her, but like I can be like her, or like that's
Yeah.
someone that I can look up to, or like
Yeah.
you know, like you have that producer that you look up to that like you know, whether
Totally.
it's like Skrillex or like, you know, Bass Nectar before everything happened, or like
Mine's Tipper.
you know, or Tipper, or like,
like
you know, you have somebody that you really look up to, but it's, you know, it's someone that looks like you that you can
Yeah.
resonate with, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
as a girl, I feel like I just don't have enough of those examples until like somewhat recently, if that makes sense. You know,
I
what I mean?
agree. I
Totally.
agree.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what
Perfect
my
sense.
point was, though.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
We need more ladies. Hey, ladies.
yeah,
We all want you here.
We all want you
We
here.
all, we
Let's
all
make
want
some
you here.
beats.
I don't
Yeah.
know of a single male producer that doesn't want ladies around
Yeah.
producing and hasn't even mentioned the fact.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like we want them around. Yeah, it's gonna be a goddamn grind in the fucking half, like it is for everybody else.
of course,
Yep.
of
and
course.
it's gonna be hard, and there's gonna be roadblocks in the way, just like there is for everybody else.
Yeah.
We all have roadblocks that for us, we're single white men.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty goddamn big roadblock in our reality, in this fucking world that we live in
Yeah.
right now. But you know, you can just step on the horse and fucking grind,
Yep. That's it.
and you can make it up here, and
yeah.
you'll probably do it in a really cool and interesting way that
Yeah.
we wouldn't do it
Oh no, absolutely.
Totally.
because your brain is just working differently.
Yeah.
It's just sick. It would
We
be
need that
nice.
feminine energy into it.
Yeah.
Big time.
Have you guys heard of Charlotte's Web?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
oh
the,
my god.
Like the book.
No. It's her name is probably inspired by the book, like directly.
It's
it's
okay.
an artist.
Yeah, she's an artist.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the book, and
Yeah,
I was
no, you're
like,
good, you're good.
Segue.
That book from
From 6th grade. Oh,
Yes.
that one.
think
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yesteryear?
Yes.
No, okay, so she's a chick. She just debuted on Wakan, and she
sick.
makes
Hell
this
yeah.
fucking sick ass music, and it's been blowing my mind lately. And I didn't have anything.
Hey,
other
come
than
on
that. I
the
just
pod,
wanted to
Charlotte's
shout her
Web.
out.
Charlotte's
Yeah,
Shout out.
yeah, she's so sick. She is the only person, or not the only person, but she has touched into the squishy sound territory, which you guys know I love.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
And it's awesome. And she's very like all of her stuff. She's Charlotte's Web, so everything is kind of like spider themed and arachnid themed and like
Sick.
creepy and fucking.
Oh, cool.
And it's just a weird vibe. And I had to bring her up because
Nice.
she's
That's
sick.
fun.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, folks, we'll end on that note.
Yeah.
It's already been an hour.
Ladies.
Big ups to your
Goddamn.
local.
Oh my god!
Big ups to your local spider.
Yeah, your friendly neighborhood spider.
Yes,
Your friendly neighborhood bass music producer.
I think
Bass-
we got
bass
some.
artist?
I think we got some ideas to cycle through maybe after the podcast. I got some spooky ones I'm
Absolutely.
gonna show you.
We're about to show
Oh,
you a
I'm down.
bootleg,
Oh, yeah.
motherfucker.
You're about to show you the
yeah.
greatest dove ever.
I'm so
Well,
down.
I think Ableton might have some. Oh, oi! Look at Tempo
It
Shaman
doesn't.
popping his way up.
Look at this.
Fucking yo, Nick, you decide to show up at the very last
yeah,
second,
yeah.
huh?
Way to go, bud.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Hey, if you want to go ahead and join the Discord,
Do
Just
it.
kidding. I love you,
Do
Nick.
it. Nah, you're the best.
Hey,
you can hang
buddy.
out in
I'm
there.
glad you showed
Where
up.
can people find you, Majestic Mud?
All over. Pretty much every social media platform. It's just Majestic Mud.
Nice.
You'll see my
So
my
underscore in there,
beautiful face.
maybe.
So,
Yeah. So on Facebook is just Majestic Mud. Facebook and SoundCloud are just Majestic Mud. Twitter and Instagram are Majestic_Mud.
Dope.
nice.
Word.
And
Good.
you're on MySpace, right? Because that's the only
Yeah.
one I use.
Well,
nowadays,
I'm about to just quit everything and move it all over to MySpace.
Okay,
Yeah.
we were actually
Seems like
thinking
a move
about
to me too.
Yeah.
MySpace and Parlor. I think those are
Oh,
What is
the
Parler?
yeah.
What the
Oh,
fuck
that's
is that?
that's a topic
even
for
know.
another. That's a
Yeah,
different.
That's for the
That's
other
a different.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's for the other
Yeah,
podcast.
that's for the other one.
It's the podcast Conspiracies and Cunts.
Sick.
It's going to be the good one.
Always 400.
That's right, baby.
Let's
400.
go.
Love you, folks.
Thank y'all for having me on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
dude,
course.
it's been
Oh, yeah.
sick.
It's been
Anytime,
real.
baby.
It's been very real.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys. See you
Big
next week.
ups. Later, everyone.